people should not go with the flow or should not go like what others are doing. They should follow their heart or their choice, because that will work more for them. Hi everyone, Dr. Priya this side. So basically, I had did the masters in medical biotechnology and doctorate in cancer biology. Apart from that, I had also did postgraduate diploma from California University in collaboration with Ahmedabad Management Association. The diploma is in hospital and healthcare administration, and apart from that, also did a course in rural administration. So this is all about my academic part. Beyond that, I am also interested in writing. You can say I am a writer by heart, but then again, it is a scientific writing more of. And have a hobby of reading a lot and also playing with my pet, a trained volunteer for treatment of animals. And beyond that, I love exploring the nature and the places which are very serene. So this is all about me, a little brief. Thank you.
Welcome to the PhD talk show by BioPatrika. And with us today is Dr. Priya Mehta, who is a Medical Sciences Liaison with the Zydus Life Sciences Limited. And we are very happy to have her. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alberta. Grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome. In finding out a little bit about you before, one of the things that I noted is that your academic training and your personal life experiences, your passion really fit you well into the role as a medical science liaison. So I would like you to share a little bit more about that academic training and personal passion as a mold for your present job.
Sure. So basically, I had did my integrated masters in medical biotechnology. So it is a specialization course, which is in 5.5 years. So that set the background for the medical context, which I'll be needing as a base to underwent this position. And apart from that, after completing my master degree, in during that also I had did the internship at academic and research institute along with the pharmaceutical industry. And after that, I had 2.5 years of full to research experience. So that research experience had helped me to gain the knowledge about the different techniques and about the molecular biology of the cancer basically, which is playing role in the pathogenesis as well as in diagnostic and therapeutics. And after that, I had shifted into academia, and along with the academia I had underwent my doctoral degree. So there also I was more of linked with the hospital and the research work. So all this in toto had set the the ground strong base for this role.
Yes, that's very important. And that's the academic training part of it. And especially as a medical sciences liaison, that interface, and you could even say that translator or interpreter between the patient and the experts and the products that come out from the company. So you could share a little bit about how some of your personal life experiences helped with in being that interpreter between the two sectors, the patients, the products, the experts.
Yeah, sure. So the base of going into the oncology sector and specifically into the breast cancer had been set you know, when my grandmother got suffered with a breast cancer, and I had seen her terminal pain, and at that time the seed just landed into the mind that I want to go further in this sector only, so that I can make at least a little bit impact in the life of the patient. And second thing is, when I was doing my doctoral work, at that time also my work is more of confined to the Saurashtra region patient. And that region is totally unexplored region in Gujarat. So the patients are coming more of from the rural background. So the day in and day out into the hospital, interacting with the patients, doing when I was taking the details, when I was collecting their samples, then again interacting with their relatives, I had seen the trauma of the disease and the real life experience about how they are coping up with this phase. So that helped me to get more of empathetically into this sector.
Right. I like some of the, as you say, nice soft skills you mentioned, that empathy, that understanding, just being in the real life situation and journey with the patients, even with your family member. And even as you move into this role, though there are different skills that you need, did you find a situation where there may have been certain other skills you might have had to learn along the way that you didn't have before, that it would be important for persons interested in that role to know about?
Yeah, sure. So during my academic timing, when I was studying, we have different sessions of personality development. In that, in every semester, we are being taught, different verbal, non-verbal communication, interpersonal skills, presentation skills. I feel that played a big role in my career. And second thing is, when I was studying, at the same time my professors were very keen, and I'm grateful that they had sent me to different, at different conferences, workshop. I had did multiple presentations, oral, posters, and that also helped me to get rid of the stage fear. That helped me to network with the people, and it also make me well versed to communicate with the people the correct thing in the correct time, because in such presentations we have a short time. So that is how I had learned. And beyond that, to fit in into this role, since the doctorate degree and the academia is total different thing, switching to a corporate sector, that to a sector where you need to be abreast with the recent knowledge. I need to learn and get well versed with the recent data about research, about molecule, drugs, even diagnostic, clinical trials, real world data. So that also needed when you want to shift into this sector. So basically, I can sum up all the thing is, I am constantly learning, unlearning, and relearning the things.
Yes, and the thing about having pursued a PhD, it's all about that ability to do exactly what you said. Just learn and relearn, etc. And if we could step back a little bit, persons would be interested in applying for the role. So are there any tips you might be able to give them, let's say, in terms of how they should prepare for that type of interview in particular?
Yeah, sure, I can. If anyone is interested specifically to go into medical affairs, like my position, so the first key thing what they need to have is, they need to have a very good soft skills, communication skills, and interpersonal skill. That is the key, because you are interacting day in and day out with the clinicians, as well as you might to deal with patients also, or the paramedic professionals as well. So you need to have a good communication skill, so that you can transfer the knowledge in a correct way. And Second thing which you need to have is you need to constantly read and get the things, which is latest, because when you are dealing with any drug or molecule, you need to be thorough with the clinical trials, the clinical data, that how that molecule will work in the real time when it has been given to the patients. So that skill is needed must. And apart from that, one need to have a good presentation and writing skill as well, because you are ultimately dealing with the scientific assistance towards KOL for your brand or product. So that also you need to be thorough with before switching to this field.
Right. And so when you were in the interview process, the actual leading up into obtaining the role, how were they able to, let's say, test or assess you for some of those skills? Were there any like exam or such?
Oh yes, it is not that easy to land up into good positions. The interview process a little tough, as I'll say, and it will actually test your knowledge every way, not only the bookish knowledge or your grades which you had received. So talking about my interview, it was 3 to 4 step. So initially, it was a telephonic interview which went for nearly 1.5 hours. After that, I had since it was a COVID time, so there was an virtual interview, and in that virtual interview also, it also went for nearly half an hour or so, where they had asked about my academic credentials, about my subject knowledge, and why I want to have this much big transition, because I am basically from research and academic background, and I had completely a shift, 360-degree shift in my career. I had been shifted to corporate sector, so that I had to justify that why I want to and how I'll fit in into that role. So that justification was very important. After that, I had to give presentation. They had given me the topic as well as the drug molecule. So the presentation was there about that. There also there was a sort of viva like we have in PhD defense. After that, there was a personal interview, and then I landed up with this position and I got selected. So it is, anyways, even if you go in research institute or R&D, there is a 3 to 4 stage interview. Depends on the institution criteria, but it is normally 2 to 3 stage at least.
Right. And there was something interesting that came to my mind with almost a 3 to 4 step to land the job. How is it on the job? Like what is a typical, if there's something like typical, how does a day run for you when at work?
It was total different, going to a research center, working in academic institute, and working in corporate sector is a little different thing. So the first day when I went to my office, which is a big huge corporate house, it was different environment, different people. So it was altogether a different experience. I have to remold myself into the new environment, into the new job culture. I had to learn lot many things, because as I told, it is all about the recent advances for any drug or any molecule. So I had to learn and adapt lot many things. The culture was totally different, which I was not used to. So it was a mixed of dilemma, a very good feeling also, and a scary thought as well, that whether I'll fit in into it or not.
Right. And we're happy to know that you're still at it because, as you say, it's something that you're passionate about, that, personally touches you in that sense. And so like when the, a day comes at your work, some of the time is set aside in actual research and keeping abreast and suppose some of the time will be set aside in going out to the patients. I wonder if you could just enlighten us a little bit about some of the tasks that you might have to perform on a given day.
Right. So in my current role, as told, I'm working in medical affairs in the capacity of Medical Science Liaison. So in my role, the first thing which I need to do every day is to interact with the clinician, both virtually as well as in person. And we need to get insights about our products so that we can learn more that how it will help the patient, how it is helping the clinician for their treatment. That is first. Second thing is I need to provide the scientific assistance to the KOLs. KOLs are key opinion leaders, basically the clinicians. So you can say I am actually an advocate for a product or a brand. And apart from that, I'm also dealing with providing the trainings to our internal staff as well as the paramedic staff in the institutions, in the medical centers. And beyond that, also working in different projects, basically collecting the real world evidence and real world data about the target molecules or drugs. So this is all, my daily work includes a mix of all.
Yes, it really sounds like, as you say, a good mix. I don't think any day is boring in that sense. And is there any other encouragement or advice you would want to give for persons that you may not have mentioned before that you'd want to give for persons who want to take that leap and transition from academia into industry and possibly even be bypassing the postdoc? Any final words of advice?
Just to summarize, is what I feel is people should not go with the flow or should not go like what others are doing. They should follow their heart or their choice, because that will work more for them. So rather than going to the stereotype decisions like doing the doctorate just for the degree and then going to the postdoc, then going to the academia or look into R&D centers, there are multiple options beyond academia, beyond research centers. People can go in multiple places. Again, they should follow their passion. I'll repeat that one more time, because ultimately your passion will land up into the growth and good position and even a satisfied life, because following the path which others had taken will not land up you to a good pace, and you're not at peace. So one should follow their passion. That is what I believe. And the topic of PhD which you are doing ultimately decides your future path as well. So that is also very important beyond your institution and your guide, because ultimately you will be expert in that particular single field. After doing your doctorate, it will be tough to switch. So it is good to select wisely the topic which you like, which you want to go further, whether it's research or academia, anything as per the choice. But there are options beyond academia and research. That is what I can strongly say.
So we want to thank Dr. Priya Mehta for joining us today on the PhD talk show by BioPatrika. And we continue to encourage our listeners, as she said, that there are a wide range of options beyond academia that you can pursue as a career. So thank you again, Dr. Mehta.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Grateful for this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Alberta. Thank you, BioPatrika.